Hi everyone, welcome to this week's Stencil Saturday video. So this week I've been thinking a lot about stitching line designs, and I've been playing a lot on paper and just, thinking about different things and designs that you can make with lines. So I decided that this week, this is kind of just play. So I want to experiment with an idea that I've been thinking about. And so I thought, why not just do that with this video? So I've marked my lines and grid stencil, and I've never really it marks lines. And what I had done was had a little dot put at 1-inch intervals, which enables you to be able to stitch this direction as well. Or you can just turn the stencil if you, for an example, wanted to mark a grid. The regular lines are at 1/2 inch, but then you have these 1-inch points too, to allow you to do different grids, and you have multiple spacing. And the other thing that I wanted a straight ruler made. So I did that. And the reason I wanted to do that was because I like just a really plain ruler. It's not my favorite to use a ruler that has a ton of markings on it, because I don't really use them. So the one ruler the very first ruler I ever got, straight line ruler, I've been using it for a really, really long time. And it had, a lot of the lines were printed on and they've worn off. So I thought, I'm just going to make one that's super simple. So it just has a few lines. But the one thing that why I've been thinking so much about the lines is so I like things, shapes, my applique, everything always has rounded corners. So I decided to just put rounded corners on it. But looking at it, it got me thinking, I wonder if I can actually use these rounded corners to do something. So that's kind of what I want to play with. And what I have in mind is that I'm thinking that maybe if I I don't know, I'm thinking if I stitch like a straight line, but then when I come to a point, do that rounded corner and then continue, which I've done in the past. And and you can also just do that freehand, because it's a tiny little curve. But I was just thinking that, if I can use this to make it easier and all kind of, all the same, I might like that too. It's actually easy. It's fairly easy to do it freehand because it's such a small movement. I mean, you're really just going from here and arching down. But what I started thinking about was, why couldn't I do it kind of like steps like this? So I think what I'm going to try anyway, is I kind of want to start, not right at the corner. Well, maybe I will start right at the corner. But in my head, what I'm thinking is that I'd like to ideally end up with this corner being empty and the upper right-hand corner being empty, so that they can transition back to plain lines. So you kind of have something going on besides just these curved lines. So we'll see. It may work. It may look terrible. I don't know. Because, some things look great on paper. You stitch them. You find out, yeah, not so much. So we're just going to play here. And I guess I'm just going to start up here. And I am going to go ahead and try to play with these curved lines before if I can get a hold of my thread, before I worry about what's going to happen in the corners. So I'm thinking that I want to maybe go down. I'm going to start from this dot, I guess. So I'm going to stitch down and curve. And then I think I'll go down 2 and just kind of do a pattern, because I think the next ones I can just follow, because I'll be able to see this first line. I'm really just going to echo it. So here we go. So I'm going to stitch down to this dot. So I should technically be able to line up that 1/4 inch line, and it should put me, yes, right on there. So I think I want to go down 2. Now I'm going to put that line on there again. Go down 2. Do it again. Ooh, I think it might work. And I guess, I mean, and you could do any spacing you want. It could have just been down 1. Oh, I like it. So that means that when we go up on this line, I'll need to stop on that dot, right? Yes. Yeah. Then I'm going to stitch over to here, go up 2, stitch over, am I going too far? No, that's right, I think. Yeah. And so what I notice is now I'm putting my ruler line on that previous line, this one. And then I can just stitch over to that line, go up to the next 2 up. Oh, I like it. But this is going to be tricky now because when I go down here, oh no, I'll just be going to that first dot. Okay. So it's always the thing, I think, when you're playing around with figuring out a new design, is getting that flow, for me, is always kind of the hardest. Line up that line. Down 2. Line up that line. Down 2. Now we're going to go all the way to the bottom now. Oh, I like it a lot. So let's see what happens here. Now we're going to go up to here. Over. Whoop. 2. Over. Up. So we're going to come down, do that little bump, now I think I have it. So my favorite thing about straight lines, which I do a lot of straight line quilting, what I love the most is the effect that you get when you look at the finished lines. And so I'm going to guess here, if I turn my light off a second, we'll be able to see it better. So you see the lines, but you start to see these kind of the effect that happens where you see these multiple little points. And it always is really cool to me, the effects. And the best thing is when you can start to understand what's going to happen with those lines, and kind of predict what you're going to stitch. Sometimes it's not the easiest thing for me to do, but that one. Okay, so let me go ahead and stitch the remainder of these. Okay, so I finished those and it did not turn out the way that I thought. For some reason in my head I was thinking that this top right corner would be empty. So I think what I'm going to do is just go ahead and show you what in my head I envisioned. So what I thought then would be that here I would just go this other way to meet these. I like to switch it up a little bit, and since the markings are for 1 inch, I'm going to go ahead and do the 1 inch and see how that looks. And so even though we don't have a line going horizontally, I can just use the dots. So I'm going to go ahead in, and because this is a short line, I'm just going to go ahead back out instead of needing to travel on that line. Same with this little short one. I'll go in and back out. Now these ones I'll probably travel just because and I think I do want these to be 1/2 inch lines. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to work my way back through here now, because now that I have those 1 inch spaced lines, I can just use my ruler to stitch in the 1/2 inch lines. And then with these little short ones, I'm going to do the same thing again. I'm just going to go in and back out. You can travel if you want. Yeah, I like that. I would have liked it better if the alternating direction lines were also up here on the right. But at least now I know that it looks... I like the way it looks. Next time I would just need to plan better and kind of know how that... Oh, I missed a line. Wait, let's just keep going here. It's almost every time. There's something there. Let me get rid of this so we can have a look at it and see. Get all these extra threads out of here. Let me turn off this light because I actually have daylight coming in my window for a change, and be able to see it. Yeah, I really like that a lot. It's awesome texture, and you kind of can see where those curves all follow up in a line and create kind of a secondary design within the lines. So I hope you guys enjoyed following along with me as I kind of experiment, and I will see you next time. Bye.